Greetings and bienvenue, MITZU. Thank you for returning to this broadcast, and welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Somewhere around 11 a.m., get call about escaped cattle from old couple living at rundown farm we rent land from. Go to sort it out. Reach house. Herd tightly surrounding their house. It's like they're all trying to get into the light emanating from the front window. Call out to the old guy who opens the window. He doesn't know what the hell's wrong with them. Drive them off their front lawn and corral them in their covered yard. Do a count, and they all seem to be there. Go in and receive an obligatory cup of tea and am force-fed cake by a nice old lady. Grab shotgun because I like to use every opportunity to get her out. Old guy decides to come along, so I give him the torch. Head on down the track to see what happened. Looks like they were in a hurry, because there's a load of snapped branches from the line of trees to our right. Nearing field, find a gate lying on the ground a good distance from where it's supposed to be. Now this thing's pretty old, so I figure it just wasn't strong enough, but they still have to have been pretty spooked to push through it. Luckily, it was pretty bright that night, because there was a near full moon and little cloud coverage. Can see black mass in the field over by the large oak they like to convene under. Stop every now and then to see if we can hear anything, in case there are people or dogs about or something. Nothing out of the ordinary. As we reach the tree, we can see pretty clearly that it's a cow. Now I'm slightly confused, but figure I may have just counted one head twice. Take the torch to have a proper look at the poor thing. It's cut open. Nothing inside. Completely gutted. Look around, and there's no blood. At this point, I realize it's completely cold inside. It's defrosting. Ask Guy if he's ever heard of spontaneous bovine freezing. Realize I'm not funny. Decide to have a better look around for missing innards. Nowhere to be found. We found out later that it was from another herd over 20 miles away. I can't really explain it.
I've had to deal with it before, not just at funerals. I have a kind of messed up reaction, though. For some reason, no matter what, I see the person breathing. I know they're dead. They can be laying in a casket, and yet I see them breathing. Be 10 years old. My grandmother on Mom's side dies. We fly to Oklahoma for the funeral. Closed casket, but Mom is worried that I am too calm and not accepting the reality of the situation, so asks them to open the casket. Freak out because I see my grandmother breathing. Start yelling for them to get her out of there. Random funeral guy drags me out of there because my mom is hysterical. Tells me I need to shut my mouth because I am making something that is really difficult, even harder for my mother. Takes me downstairs and shows me the room where they prepare the bodies. Shows me some of the tools they use. Thankfully doesn't show me a body. Says, look, we use this to drain the blood, and then we replace it with embalming fluid. Nobody could survive that. Your grandmother's gone, kid. We did all of this to her. Now you need to be quiet. Go upstairs and tell your mother you're sorry. Blame it on lack of sleep, overactive imagination, whatever. I comply and tell my mother that I haven't really slept well since we heard about Grandma. And that must be why I thought I saw what I saw. Mom stops crying and says, okay, but is distant. To this day, my mother has not hugged me since. No fucking clue why I see dead people breathing. This isn't my only encounter. Anyone interested in hearing more? When I was 19, I joined the Army. It was right after 9/11, and I felt like I needed to do my part. What they don't tell you is that when you first go in, you receive a massive amount of vaccines and various injections, and ask if you'd be willing to help other soldiers by volunteering to receive experimental vaccines. I was an idiot and said yes. Be in basic training. Get incredibly sick, but have it not really taken seriously. Pass out on a 10-mile run at the top of a hill while coughing up blood. Wake up several days later in a hospital bed with a tube down my throat and a tube in my dick. Eventually get well enough to go to a barracks exclusively for soldiers who are in training and recovering from illness or injury. Morale is super low because most of these guys are going to get kicked out. Wake up in the middle of the night to piss, walk into the latrine, take a leak, turn around and see a soldier hanging from one of the stalls. Run out of the bathroom to find a drill sergeant. He tells me to get back there and stay with the body until someone comes for it, and to not wake anyone up or let anyone into the latrine. Go in and stand next to him. Even though he's clearly dead, eyes bulged out, face is purple, tongue is hanging out of his mouth, I still see him breathing. Everything feels so surreal. Start reciting what I remember from the Bible of the last rites. Segue into just talking to him in general, about the pain he must have been in, and how I wished he would have talked to me, and that I could have helped him. Eventually, drill sergeant walks in with some other soldiers who had all heard me talking to a dead soldier. He asks me to come with him, drives me to the military hospital, and has me admitted to the psychiatric ward. Spend 6 months there before I am given a general discharge for failure to adapt to military life. 2.
I live in Asia with my parents, and about 4 years ago, I rented out a room to a Filipino woman, her Chinese husband, and their 2-month-old baby. The last week of their stay was unimaginably creepy. During that time, first night, in the kitchen in the middle of the night, getting a drink, all of a sudden, I see a kid about 8 years old staring at me, completely pitch black in color. Except the eyes, I can see his white pupils. Freak out and hide against the wall. I peep out and he's gone. Second night. Mom and I talking in the kitchen. See something hanging from the top of my kitchen window. Don't pay attention to it. Stop talking to Mom for a few seconds. Look up. Notice it was half of a woman's face looking at me the whole time. Her face is upside down. Suddenly, a long length of hair sweeps across the entire window. Mom misses it because she was looking at me. Third night. Walking home from work. Suddenly, all the lamps in my lane shut off. I know something messed up is going to happen. Carry on walking cautiously. Notice a man suspiciously standing in front of a tree. Clearly, there is spacing between man and tree. As I approach the man, he moves slightly behind the tree, but I still see the silhouette of his arm. Finally walk past the tree. Eyes on his arm the whole time. The arm was part of the tree trunk. Tried to tell the couple we rented the room to about the supernatural circumstances, to which the husband replied, "Oh, don't worry, they're with me." Turns out they had a bottle of unknown black substance inside their room that they used for good luck. We chased them out promptly.
B13. Have shitty druggy parents who hate each other and me. Fighting gets so bad one night, I leave. They don't even notice. Walk for a long time because I don't want to go back home, even though it's been snowing. Tired. Feel like shit because I hadn't eaten since that morning, and my dad had clocked me good in the side of the head earlier. Sit down on the ground for a minute behind an old gas station, rest back against the wall. Apparently fell asleep. Someone starts shaking me. Not cold anymore, even though I'm still outside. Body feels like it's on fire. There's a dude with a big beard standing over me. Can't really wake up or focus enough to do anything or care that much. Pass back out. Wake up again, this time in what looks like a basement room. Heater in one corner, cinder block walls. laying on a futon mattress with a bunch of blankets. My jacket is folded up neatly beside the futon with my shoes. Have no idea where I am. Get up, put on shoes and jacket, walk upstairs. Upstairs turns out to be an old house full of old furniture and a ton of bookcases filled with old-looking books. Nobody is there. Decide to GTFO before anyone comes back. Some sort of altar thing in the front room. Can't remember everything that was on it, but I remember that there was an animal-human figure carved out of dark wood and some candles, and a scratched metal dish. My school ID is laying on the dish next to what looked like a piece of a root or something that had been carved into a sort of stick figure shape and wrapped up with twine. Nope out, grab my ID and bolt out the door. Not too far away from the gas station, so run home. No one is there, and the front room is a mess. Turns out the cops showed up sometime after I left and arrested my dad. Then my mom OD'd early in the morning. Go to live with grandparents. Decide not to mention the bearded guy or what happened. I still have no idea what happened or who that guy was. I'm tempted to try to find the house again one day.
I have seen a grand total of 6 dead bodies in my short lifetime. I'm not sure how I managed to get so lucky. First, B8. Great-great-aunt whoever just died, off school for her funeral. Have some time before it, so parents walk me and my brother down to the park by the church to feed ducks. Get to the park, run over to the pond. Guy face down in it. One of the ducks using his body as some sort of raft. Run back to my parents to tell them. Police come, can't feed the ducks. End up feeding breadcrumbs to pigeons at the church instead. My great aunt had an open casket too, not counting that as one of my 7. So that was a lot for one day. Second, be in high school. Skipping gym to sit in the comic book store nearby. Start heading back when I know lunch has started. Stop when I notice this car swerving all over the place, going way too fast. Hits this guy crossing the street just up a bit, run over there. Say, "Are you okay?" like an idiot, because no one with that much brain out of their skull is going to be okay. Have to give statement to the police and parents find out I skipped school. The paper said the driver had a stroke at the wheel. He was okay in the end, though. Third, still in high school. Have to go on this senior camp in the woods. Doing some orienteering thing with the group. Have to find markers in the woods that will solve a riddle or something. Girl wanders off because she thought she saw one. 0.3 seconds later, starts screaming. What? Partially decomposed body in leaf litter. That one actually made me throw up because we all smelled it first and kind of ignored it, but then the smell paired with the sight pushed me over the edge. The fourth. I was walking in the middle of the night with my friend and we came across a guy in a parking lot, face down in a pool of blood. He stoned and laughed and said wasted because it reminded him of GTA. Ended up being some gang shooting victim. Fifth, working in a diner overnight the summer after the one above. Go to take the trash out in the morning. Black bear out there trying to get into the dumpster. I'm all, "Get out of here, punk," because it was always pulling the trash out and leaving it all over the place, and I'm the one who has to clean it. Bear's like, "Fuck you," and keeps digging. Go back inside and wait, come out a little while later. The bear is in the dumpster, and someone's leg is sort of sticking up out of it. Sigh and call the police again. The bear wasn't eating the girl in the dumpster, he'd found some old chicken or something and was having a grand old time. He just would not move. They had to call animal control, and he wouldn't move then either. It was kind of funny they had to wait for the bear to finish before they did anything. And finally, 2 years ago, brother wants to camp in the woods for some godforsaken reason. I'm all no, but he begs, and I relent. Go out there, Find a suitable spot for the tent and set it up. Need to go to the bathroom and refuse to piss on a tree, so attempt to trek through to the public bathroom. Find guy hanging from a tree during my trek. Get to go home, yay. Buddy is all bummed, so we end up re-pitching the tent in the backyard.
B-15. Alone at my family's summer house. Go into Garden Shack for some paint thinner. Not to get high. I was working on a project. Just as I enter, the door closes and I can hear the coat hanger wire we use to lock the door when we're home sliding into place. I try to find a way out, but the second door had been condemned when we expanded the shack and the window is too small for me to pass through. Try to find some tools to unscrew the bolts of the condemned door. All of a sudden, I see a big-ass spider on the wall, tarantula size. It disappears in the shadows near the roof. I start the small lawnmower truck. We have to try and smash the door open, the one locked with the twisted coat hanger wire. That thing is stronger than you would think, and kicking the door didn't do shit. As I'm about to get up on the truck, I hear the wire slide again. I open the door slowly, watching outside for some maniac or something, and inside for the spider at the same time. Everything is sunny outside and I'm alone. Run into my house. Everything is a mess. Some slob made himself a meal. Or two. Or three. There was food everywhere. I'm scared that the guy might still be there. So I take a knife, or I would have taken it if I didn't see my reflection in the microwave. Run to the nearest mirror. My face and the top of my t-shirt are all covered in food. The same food that was prepared in the kitchen when I was trapped outside. I still have no idea what that was about, but it really happened.
I haven't seen too many deaths in my 21 years of disappointment, though this one in particular stands out. 8 years old. Riding in the car with mom and sister. Tool comes on the radio. I know the pieces fit 'cause I watched them fall away. Feel that something bad is about to happen. Sister and mom mention it, but I remain silent about it to this day. 3 minutes go by, and two assholes are speeding down the road, swerving and whatnot. Must be one of those nights. Whew, that was pretty close. We get off the highway and into town at the train tracks on our way home. Ding, 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 chuga, 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 chuga. Patiently wait for the train to cross. Out of my peripheral, the same car from earlier zips right past us at 80 miles per hour. The driver slams on the brakes and sends them both careening out through the windshield into the side of the moving train. Mom and sister freak out, telling me to close my eyes, trying desperately to cover my face. The damage is already done. JPG. One guy had his brains scattered all over the place, while his buddy's legs were just gone. He was just laying there babbling incoherently, probably trying to process the fact that he just lost his legs. Mom, being a trained medical professional, tends to the survivor until the proper authorities arrive. Every time that Tool song comes on, I remember.
This happened to me a few days ago. Work downtown in a major shopping district in a major U.S. city. Manage hot dog carts. Closing up one night like normal. All of a sudden, fire truck siren. Not uncommon. Pulls up at the curb near our cart. Not uncommon. Notice firefighters and EMTs quickly jumping out and running over, right outside the store I work in front of. A crowd is gathering. Wonder what it is. Walk over and look over everybody's shoulders. I'm tall. See an elderly man laying on the ground, had on a members-only type jacket, slacks, and dress shoes. His hands are slightly twitching. Then I notice the blood pooling out from under his head. He stops twitching eventually. Oh, found out later from someone who had seen it all happen. Apparently, the old man was just chatting up a street performer when all of a sudden he started having a seizure. He twitched his way over to the building and fell, smashing his head into a marble corner. Felt weird later knowing I probably watched his last moments.
B23. Normally sleep in underwear. Am a rock once asleep. Fall asleep about 15 minutes after laying down and turning off light. This day was exhausted from night shift. 6:21 a.m. finally going to bed. Strip, lay down, felt that falling feeling immediately. Light was still on. Suddenly jump awake. Am in the bedroom wearing jeans and a shirt I don't own. Notice bedroom door was open and the light was off. Dad might have turned off the light and forgot the door. Get up to close the door. Hear voices from downstairs, must have left the TV on. Exit the bedroom and suddenly am in a blank square room with no doors. Hear voices like young teenagers talking in same room. Say, what the hell? Voices stop. Something interests me in one of the empty corners. Hear a voice next to me say, I think he's looking for you. Move towards the corner. I think he's moving closer. Start to faintly see a kid next to me and I'm face to face with another. The one I'm looking at says something like, yeah, right, before friend cuts him off. Friend panics, screams, he's looking right at you. I say, what is this? Suddenly wake up again flailing like I was fighting off something. Light is on, I'm under a blanket, door is closed, am very warm. Take off blanket, I'm fully dressed in the same clothes as dream. Look at the clock. 6:21 a.m.
This happened when I was around 20. I still lived at home, but home was out in the country. One Saturday night, my parents and my sister end up going to a party at a friend's house, but I had worked all day and didn't feel like going. Around 11 p.m., they still hadn't made it home, and I'm in my bedroom reading. Decide it's time to go to sleep, so turn off my lamp and go to the kitchen in pitch darkness to get a drink of water. As I'm walking back to my bedroom, I walk through our den and come to a complete stop. I have no idea what stopped me, but every hair on my body stood on end, and I was absolutely paralyzed with fear. There was no doubt in my mind that there was something in the room that wished me harm. The only light that would have been on in the den would have been from our VCR, but I could not see it, which is when I really started to freak out. I actually stopped breathing at one point in order to try to be as quiet as possible. After about 5 minutes, the feeling went away, and I noticed I could see the VCR clock again. I walked to my bedroom, closed the door, and lay in bed until my family got home. And only then did I go to sleep. To this day, I have no idea what really happened. I can still vividly remember how terrified I was like it was yesterday, and the absolute feeling of helplessness to do anything about it. When people ask me if I believe in paranormal stuff, I tell them I'm not really sure, but then I relate that story and kind of shrug my shoulders. There was something in my house that night, and it did mean to do harm. Of that, I have no doubt.
When I was in high school, during gym class, one of my friends who's normally very athletic and healthy started looking really tired, went over to a trash can and leaned on it for a breather, then just fell inside of it and didn't get back out. We were all laughing for a while. His heart had stopped and he was dead face first in this trash can. Luckily, they managed to bring him back and he got a pacemaker put in like a few days after that. Closest I've seen outside of wakes and open casket funerals. As a more fucked up one that happened to someone I met when I was in elementary school, There was this teen a couple years older than me that had died in his house from playing the choking game. It started this big campaign against it in my area, but I didn't know him too well. A few years after that, when I was at a summer camp, I was in a cabin with 5 other kids and our counselor. Our counselor's telling this spooky story, and he's doing a really good job of it. You feel like you're actually in this story while you're listening to it. But he gets to this point in the story where the protagonist walks further inside of the cabin he's in, and he sees a bunch of bodies dangling from meat hooks all around him. As soon as he says that, one of the kids in the cabin breaks down crying real hard. Once we calmed him down, we asked him what was wrong, and he just said the name of the kid who had died way back when. It turns out the kid that died was his older brother. He was the one that found him, all when he was 8 or 9 years old.
When I was around 16 or 17, I went visiting my uncle's factory in China. They have a textile thing with maybe 100 workers or so. Everything was dilapidated, not necessarily spooky, just standard poor country stuff. There wasn't much to do other than watch VCDs, shitty Chinese bootleg DVDs, of the Saw movies and the Amityville Horror. In retrospect, this probably contributed a good amount to my pants shitting later on. They didn't have enough room in their house for me to sleep there, so after it got late, I made the trek back to the factory on my own. I was sleeping out near the factory in a one-room shack next to one of the supply sheds. All the workers had gone home. It was dead quiet. I go to bed. Suddenly, in the middle of the night, there's stuff banging around in the supply shed. The windows in my room are opening and shutting, and the one bare light bulb hanging above my bed starts flickering on and off. I sit there, shitting bricks for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, completely immobile. No clue what to do. Finally, I decided I need to get out of there, tear ass back to my uncle's house, and whimper a little about how my room was haunted.
I was 15, visiting some old relatives with my immediate family. The house we stayed in was half ancient and half add-on, and all of the rooms were in the old part of the house. My aunt, the owner, and the one who had lived there all her life, had already told me about her grandmother who would come to sit on her bed with her every night. Dead grandmother, did I need to say that? As she would when my aunt was a little girl. She also told me about the wood fairies that she would see in the 5-acre forest that was part of their land, and how the fairies would dance and glow in the distance. So I'm laying in bed with my 5-year-old little brother, who has already passed out, and I begin to hear footsteps, like heavy boots on the old hardwood floor, like floorboards squeaking under the weight of someone passing over them. I immediately called my friend. No TV to distract me, no pretending like I wasn't hearing what I was hearing. My door was wide open, and I hear the footsteps casually, slowly, up and down the hall. In the kitchen, I hear keys being thrown on the counter, a glass being set on the table, and then more footsteps. It goes on for about 20 minutes, and I'm freaking out on the phone. The last I hear is when the footsteps come right up to the threshold of the bedroom door, the floorboards crying under the weight. And then it proceeds down the hall and fades away.
Be last year. 22 years old at the time. Go up north to Southport. It's near Liverpool, UK, to see a great friend from university. Staying at her mum's house, because poor. Small 3-bed house shared by her mum and her 3 brothers. Busy house, to say the least. Mum is beyond cool. Can't do enough to make sure I'm all comfy and shit. Spend time reminiscing with friend. Eventually it's party time. Night at the Roxbury.gif. Morning after 2 hungover to go back home. Stay another night thanks to her brilliant mum. Sleeping on couch. Around 4 in the morning. Wake up, no idea why. See something standing over me. Think it's my friend or one of her brothers. Slur something like, "What do you want thing on? Let me get my glasses." Glasses on, nobody there. Look down at my sleeping bag. Lego blocks fucking everywhere. Puzzled. I'd just woken up. My mind wasn't thinking, "That's weird" at the time, more like, "That's annoying." Shake blocks onto the floor. Get rid of glasses. Head back on cushion pillow. About to go back to sleep, but something keeps hitting my head. Open eyes, see blurry face. Things staring at me, definitely there across the room. No glasses on, no detail. Mildly startled. Blink, grab glasses. No one there. Most of the Lego blocks I'd shaken onto the floor are now on my person again. Annoyed. Get rid of glasses. Shake off fucking Lego. Arm firmly placed over eyes. Get pelted by Lego all night until dawn. When I spoke to my friend and her mom in the morning, apparently that's not the weirdest thing that's happened in their house. When she was younger, both the mom and my friend said they were woken up by loud children's laughter, and she's still constantly getting disturbed by someone shouting her name, even while she's listening to music. Fucking weird place.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.